Plug it in, Joe. We'll see what happens.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's video, I'm just going to revisit the alignment procedure. I had a request from one of my viewers, and he couldn't see where I connected all my clips to in the video I previously did on alignment. And I thought, well, you know, I'm going to show it. And as he mentioned that he's just going to attempt his first alignment and would like to see where everything is actually connected to. And you know, absolutely correct, because that's what I wanted to see when I first started out and watching videos. And it tended to get frustrating. I could see where you've got your red lead, where's your black lead? You know, because let's face it, I'm a newbie, I knew nothing. I wanted to see everything. So I'm going to show that. Alright, so hopefully you've got an alignment procedure for your radio. If not, what I've done in the past is I've gone, say it's a Chrysler, and I don't have a schematic or procedure for this particular radio. I'd find another Chrysler that would be so fairly close in age to this, and I suspect that their alignment procedure would be the same. Oh, very close to, enough for us to be able to perform the alignment. But anyway, the first things first, what do? Make sure our tuning gang is fully meshed. So we close it up, and that's all done. I will find out why one day. Don't know, I just followed the instructions that I read. And the equipment we need, of course, apart from our radio, we need our radio frequency generator and our voltmeter. Now, one day I will get myself a vacuum tube voltmeter, but until then I have to use my digital multimeter. And other couple of components we need, of course, are capacitors. So for the IF, or intermediate frequency alignment, which is your two IF cans right there, it's a 0.1 in this case, and for the RF, or radio frequency part of the alignment, it specifies a 200 picofarad capacitor. So I've just picked up this old mica that I know works. So with our signal generator, we need to connect the hot wire, which is our red, to the input grid of the detector valve. And our detector valve is always going to be, so far as I've seen, the valve closest to the tuning gang, and that's it right there. And we have to determine which pin is the input grid. Now, I'll digress for a second. If we've got an old radio that uses an octal as a detector valve, they always have that metal cap on top. Well, the metal cap is the input grid, and you'll see that the cap is attached to a wire which goes to the tuning gang, and we simply attach our through a capacitor, attach our signal to the input grid there, the cap. But in this case we've got a 7-pin, it's a 6BE6, and we'd need to look up the pinouts for it. So if you've got a manual like I do, you've seen that before, I'll just look up 6BE6, and I've got it. And if you haven't got a manual, get on the net, Google up 6BE6 pinout, or whatever your valve is. But let's bring it into here. I'll get as close as I possibly can. So this is 6BE6, and I'm looking for the grid that is closest to the cathode, which is cathode's pin 2, of course, and the grid right above it, well, there it is, pin 1, or grid 1. And I think grid 1 is always going to be your input, I guess. It is on that one too. Yep, but anyway, 6B6, pin 1 is our input grid. So let's zoom in on the grid, on the pins, as close as I can possibly get them, and shed a bit more light on it. And This one's 7-pin, and identify my gap, and where your gap is, count clockwise. So there it is there, pin 1. That's your input grid, and it's connected. Let's see what it's connected to. So you can see there's a little capacitor, resistor, pardon me, that just goes off to earth. And we've connected to another resistor, which is from the colouring, that's 27 ohms, and that comes up, and get the light out of the way, and it comes up and connects to, I believe that to be the oscillating coil, and that'll ultimately be connected to the tuning gang anyway. So there's our signal input point. That's our connection there. And let's get our signal generator wires all ready. So black wire, attach that to your chassis. Red wire, a hot wire or signal wire, connect it to one end of your capacitor, your 0.1 capacitor in this case. Grab a jumper lead, of course, to the other side, and jumper lead we connect to exactly that point I showed you. There it is there. So our signal will be sent through the capacitor and the white lead straight into the input grid. Right, I'll just turn that down and get it ready. Now we have to measure the output voltage. So the manual also specifies that your voltmeter should be connected to the voice coil of your speaker. Here's a speaker, and a voice coil is simply just our speaker connections right there, being fed from the output transformer. And it doesn't make any difference which terminal you connect your red or your black to. Your voltmeter is going to be reading AC current coming out of it. So let's switch on our voltmeter to AC. Good. We're ready. We're ready. I'm going to warm this thing up and then I'll be right back. Okay, radio and the generator are warmed up, and I've disconnected the aerial wire, so we'll keep the static down to a minimum. Now, mesh is closed, everything's connected. Down there, yep. So let's tune in our signal generator to the frequency for alignment. That's in this case 457.5. We're getting there. Past it. I'm just going for peak volume because I can't be exact at 457.5, but I'm so close. And that will do. And we're currently reading, I'll just turn that down a little bit, and reading 0.71 volts of AC. And of course if I turn my volume up, voltage increases. And I'm going to, and again the procedure states for this radio, keep your output voltage under 1 volt. So keep your volume right down, as long as you can hear it, that's good. And really we're focusing on the voltage and we're looking for peak voltage. So to be at this point we're ready to align, and we start off with our second IF can as usual, and the first IF can always being the one closest to the detector valve, and second IF can, well, by default it's got to be the other one. So the tool I use, I still have to use my trusty metal screwdriver. I don't have the proper ceramic or hard plastic tools to do it. I know this can demodulate the signal, but again we'll work with what we've got. And sometimes these screws, you know, they're damned hard to turn. So looking for peak voltage, I'll go anti-clockwise to begin with, and my voltage is going down. So go clockwise now, bring it up. How far can I get it to go up? A little bit more, 76, 78. Geez, I'm turning it a fair bit. I've dropped down. If I keep going, it'll drop down even more. So go backwards, try and get it back to 80. Maybe a little bit more volume. Let's have a look. No, dropping it. So anti-clockwise again. No, dropping it. So it's going to be 142, 140.142, 143 volts. And that's it. So it's dropped down a bit, doesn't matter. So the first capacitor in the second IF can is done, and now I'd go to the top of that can and do the same procedure again, just peak the voltage out. After that can's done, move to your first IF can, follow the same procedure again, and then do that twice, or if it's your first time, try it 3 times, see what you can get. Squeeze as much sensitivity out of it as you can. So that's our IF alignment. Now I'll just turn the volume down. Our RF alignment, we leave everything connected, we just change our resistor. Our capacitor. And in this case it's at 200 picofarad mica. And that's connected, and we connect to our aerial terminal. And as is the case, I believe it's pretty much standard here in Australia anyway. Move up to 600 kilocycles, and now we tune it in, our tuning knob, until we pick up 600 kilocycles, and there it is there. Right there. And remember, we're now, the RF alignment, we're really aligning the tuning dial to the stations. And according to the manual, the dial pointer should be above a radio station called 4AT, and it's not. And it is out, and I knew this was out. Somebody's played with this, I'm sure. So I'd simply move the tuning dial, loosen it up, and position it at 4AT. But that's it, guys. That's the basics of it. And for those of you that haven't attempted it yet, I hope this helps. At least you can see exactly where we connect our clips to, and you've got the equipment, and it works according to the manual. It works, which is great. So that's it for today. Nice and short and sweet. I hope this helps the beginners out there, you know. And I wish I'd have seen videos like this when I first started out. I mean, that's all I'm looking for back then, real basic stuff. And to be honest, I still look for basic stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you real soon. Ciao.